Hi, my name is Mariah Shelton from your ESEPSY 1259 online class. Because I think my note taking is already good, I'm gonna make a video and show you what I do and how I do it basically. I'm a big advocate of there's no perfect way of note taking. As long as it's good for you and it works for you, you should do it. And it took me a year to find this way of note taking, and I mostly use it for chemistry because chemistry is the topic that I struggle the most on, and I found that it really works, and I've learned and I've been able to store a lot of things in my mind from this note taking. So I use my iPad with my Apple Pencil to help take notes, and then I also use another set of notebook to help take notes. It's like an extra way of reminding myself what I just wrote in my notebook. So I e-textbook, which I like the online textbook better because on my iPad I can download it and I can take it everywhere and it's easier to transfer things. So usually when I'm taking notes, I use my MacBook and then I use this to write. But just reading my textbook, I usually use my iPad so I can highlight notes as you see right here. All I do is have to double tap. And then it's highlighted. And then also, like I stated in the discussion post, I also like to answer the questions that they have on this textbook. This helps me memorize the content and store it in my brain. So for example, like this question, it says after watching the video, answer the question below by selecting the correct answer. So then I'll just put the correct answer and submit it. And it'll tell me if I got it right or if I got it wrong, and it'll give me my reason on why I got it right and wrong. Note taking, I use Notability, and I usually organize all my notes. Well, this year because I'm not taking a lot of classes where I need to write notes on my iPad, but for this, so I just organize chemistry and then everything else is just separate. So for chapter 15, for example, I use Notability. I find it easier because I feel like it's easier to draw out graphs, and I'm a color person because color coding helps me remember things. As you can see, I have my definition in purple and then my term and everything else in a different color. I use my Apple Pencil to write, and sometimes I might highlight, as you can see right there, if I feel like the information is super important. Writing on my Notability, I call it like a pre-draft note taking because I'll soon transfer it over to this notebook. But some other notes that I take on my Notability app are my lecture notes. While my lecture's on Zoom, I will also write on my Notability. For example, this. And then I also transfer these notes to my notebook. So for my notebook, I just use a regular notebook. I got it from Erin Condren, so I can label and decide on the notebook. It says chemistry. I use Pensmate, the fine point pens to help write. And so for example, this is also color coded. As you can see in chapter 15, it's almost like my note and Notability, but I rewrite it because it helps me remember it a little bit more. And then I also store a little bit more information in my notebook because I store my lecture notes. As this, you can see this page right here says lecture notes and everything. So that's how I usually write my notebooks. I do it this way because rewriting helps me remember. And when I keep rewriting, I'll soon have it stored in my brain long term for my midterm. I found it really helpful ever since I've been doing it. I've been fine. So I organize everything in 3 ways. I organize it through my iPad, my notebook, and color coding. So I color code everything. So in my iPad, as you can see, all the different notes are color coded. For example, this is chapter 15. It's color coded in different colors. But if you go to chapter 16, they're different colors that I color code. Same as my notebook. Chapter 13, it's like color coded in these colors. But if you go to chapter 14, they're coded in different colors. And this also helps me remember, because I remember that light purple, that means chapter 14. And when I'm on my test, I can like visualize what I wrote in my notes, which have been super easy for me when I'm taking tests and I need to answer questions like really fast. So that's about it for me. To summarize it all for you again, I use two things. I use my iPad with my Apple Pencil, and then I use my notebook with my pens. And then I write on Notability, and then I use my textbook that is on my computer, and then the textbook that is on my iPad. I use the textbook on my iPad to highlight because it's just easier to highlight on my iPad. And then I write on Notability, and then I transfer all the notes that I wrote on Notability from my lecture to just my chapter notes to this. And this is what I end up using because it helps me remember more. Color coding is my biggest thing on how I learn, because I can visualize the colors of that chapter, and when answering questions, it will all come back to mind for me. Thank you.